Mess with my kids? Lose your house. I've been a father figure to my two stepsons since they were 8 and 10 years old. Over the years, my wife and I have maintained a great relationship with their biological father, Jason. We made it a priority to include him in their lives as much as possible, even welcoming him into our home when he couldn't afford to live closer due to financial constraints. Unfortunately, Jason had a tumultuous past relationship with his ex-girlfriend, who had a history of deceit and manipulation. She had made false claims about being married to Jason, using various excuses like common law marriage or secret ceremonies. Jason had obtained a restraining order against her due to her erratic behavior and attempts to disrupt his life. She had a criminal record for forgery and fraud, and their relationship was marked by constant conflict. At one point, the ex-girlfriend went to great lengths to sabotage Jason's life. She falsely accused him of violating his probation when he attended his mother's funeral in another county without filing the necessary paperwork. As a result, he was sent to prison for several months. After his release, Jason decided to make a fresh start and move to a new town to escape his ex-girlfriend's harassment. However, she persisted in her attempts to disrupt his life, leading to the restraining order. Tragically, Jason passed away unexpectedly from a heart attack. His death was a shock to all of us, as he had finally found peace and happiness. He didn't have many material possessions, but his trailer, filled with cherished items like tools, comics, video games, D&D books, and marine memorabilia, held sentimental value. Additionally, he owned an old pickup truck, which he had promised to pass on to my oldest son, Paul. Since Jason didn't leave behind a will, my wife took on the role of executor of his estate. As both of his sons were minors at the time, they became the sole heirs. We gathered Jason's belongings from his trailer and took possession of the truck, although we had to wait for the death certificate to complete the process of transferring the title to Paul's name. Unfortunately, the ex-girlfriend contacted Jason's sister, making false claims and demanding ownership of the truck, which greatly angered me. When we applied for a new title for the truck at the DMV, we discovered that the ex-girlfriend had stolen the title through forgery. She had falsely claimed to be the sole heir, preventing us from completing the transfer of ownership. Consequently, my son had to carry a packet of documentation to prove that he wasn't driving a stolen vehicle. Resolving this issue required hiring a lawyer and initiating a special legal process, which took several months. Throughout this time, the ex-girlfriend continued her threats and disruptive behavior, causing significant distress and incurring substantial legal fees. In early last year, we went through probate court, and the ex-girlfriend failed to appear despite her claims of being Jason's wife and sole heir. The court recognized Jason's sons as the legitimate heirs, and my wife was appointed executor of the estate in their names. Instead of attending the court hearing, the ex-girlfriend sent an email filled with baseless accusations against my wife and sons, trying to discredit their relationship with Jason and make false claims about financial matters. During this period, we discovered that Jason's name was on the deed of the ex-girlfriend's house. She had added him as a co-owner to obtain a reduction in property taxes based on his disabled veteran status. However, she hadn't included him on the mortgage. Given the ex-girlfriend's relentless harassment and refusal to leave my family alone, we decided to file a lawsuit seeking half of the property, which was valued at approximately $380,000. We attended court-ordered mediation, but she rejected a settlement offer that was a fraction of the property's value, an offer that we would have accepted. In April, the ex-girlfriend's lawyer dropped her as a client, leading to a continuance of the first hearing. She then claimed to have found a will allegedly designating her as the sole heir, along with a purported quitclaim deed for the house. It crossed my mind that her lawyer dropped her due to non-payment or doubts about the legitimacy of her claims. She intended to reopen probate court with these newfound documents, requesting more time for that purpose, which the judge granted. Finally, this Tuesday, we attended court for the issue regarding the house's deed. However, the ex-girlfriend failed to appear once again. The judge investigated with the probate court and discovered that she hadn't filed any relevant documents. The trial lasted only a few minutes as the judge recorded the facts and awarded the estate half of the property. The court will appoint 3 lawyers to determine the sale of the property, ultimately resulting in the ex-girlfriend losing her house. For the first time, she will face the consequences of her actions, bringing an end to her miserable behavior and its impact on our lives. In a world where family dynamics can be complex, fostering healthy relationships within blended families becomes paramount. It is through positive connections and mutual respect that individuals can find true well-being and harmony. However, we must remain vigilant against deceit and manipulation, as the consequences of such actions can be far-reaching and devastating. Honesty and integrity should be upheld, knowing that dishonesty and malicious intent can lead to severe repercussions. Second story. Don't kill your neighbor's dogs. In the remote mountains of West Virginia, a reclusive and cantankerous elderly woman named Martha lived in isolation. Known for her bitter demeanor, Martha had earned a reputation for being involved in suspicious incidents, including the alleged shooting of her ex-husband, though no evidence could ever link her to the crime. Living next to Martha's property was a peaceful family who cherished their serene mountain life. They had resided there for many years, seeking solace and tranquility in the wilderness. However, their peaceful existence was disrupted when Martha decided to keep chickens on her land without fencing them in. Martha's chickens frequently wandered onto the neighbor's property, piquing the curiosity of their dogs. One unfortunate day, the dogs chased and killed one of Martha's chickens. Reacting impulsively, Martha, armed with a shotgun, confronted the neighbors and without warning, took the lives of their beloved pets. The entire incident unfolded with unnecessary aggression, leaving the family devastated and traumatized, especially their children who had formed a deep bond with their dogs. Despite their outrage, the neighbors were reluctant to involve law enforcement. Aware of Martha's violent tendencies and her ability to evade legal consequences, they chose not to escalate the situation. Instead, they resorted to hoping for a resolution through peaceful means. Unfortunately, a couple of weeks later, an act of retaliation occurred when Martha was away in town. Her home became the target of vandalism and arson. Someone broke the back window and threw a makeshift incendiary device, causing the house to quickly succumb to flames. By the time the fire department arrived, Martha's residence, along with all her possessions, was reduced to ashes. It was an irreparable loss, and even her guns and other belongings associated with her troubled past met the same fate. The neighbors, while not involved in the act, remained tight-lipped, and the local sheriff's department couldn't gather enough evidence to solve the case. Martha, devoid of homeowner's insurance and lacking financial resources, was forced to relocate. Eventually, her son stepped in and purchased a modest, dilapidated trailer in town for her to reside in. Opinions among those who knew Martha varied. Some believed that she received a fitting consequence for her cruel actions, while others saw the entire situation as a tragic outcome that could have been avoided. Regardless, the moral of the story remained clear: it's unwise to provoke a mountain resident, especially when it comes to their beloved dogs, as the consequences might be severe and unpredictable. The story emphasizes that actions have consequences, as demonstrated by Martha's aggressive behavior resulting in the loss of her home. It reminds us to consider the far-reaching effects of our actions and to treat others with kindness. Moreover, it underscores the significance of community cohesion and support, emphasizing the need for neighbors to look out for one another and foster a sense of unity. Lastly, the story indirectly imparts lessons about responsible pet ownership, encouraging us to respect boundaries and ensure the well-being of our pets and neighbors. Reflecting on these messages can help us build stronger, more compassionate communities where conflicts are resolved peacefully, understanding prevails, and empathy guides our interactions. And so, we've reached the explosive conclusion of this tale of nuclear revenge, shared by our brave Redditors on r/NuclearRevenge. This captivating story has taken us on a roller coaster of emotions, revealing the darkest corners of human nature and the consequences of unchecked anger. Thank you for joining us on this intense adventure of r/NuclearRevenge. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel to stay tuned for more stories that explore the complexities of human nature.